Welcome to my channel, Mischief here, back with another guide video. Tingyun has finally made her way back into Honkai Star Rail as the new upcoming unit known as Fugue. In this ultimate guide video, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about Fugue. Fugue is going to be our second Fire Nihility character, focusing on enabling other units to deal super break damage while debuffing her enemies. Since a new playable path for the Trailblazer has been officially announced, it makes sense that Hoyo wants to free up the Trailblazer for newer comps. This is where Fugue fills in this gap to an even greater extent. She is an excellent unit to pair up with either Rappa, Boothill, and even Firefly. In this ultimate guide, we'll be going over her kit, Relics stats, Eidolons, Lightcones, team comps, and finally, my opinion on pulling for her. Virtue Beckons Bliss grants Foxian Prayer to one ally, which is a powerful buff tied to a Torrid Scorch state, which lasts up to 3 turns, ticking down at the start of every turn. The chosen ally enjoys a 30% break effect boost and gains the ability to reduce toughness on enemies even if they lack the matching weakness. While this effect works at a 50% break efficiency, it still provides a unique edge in bypassing enemy weaknesses. While in Torrid Scorch, Fugue upgrades her basic attack, and every time her chosen ally attacks, she applies a guaranteed 80% defense reduction on the enemy for 2 turns. It's a seamless combination of ally buffs and enemy debuffs, perfect for dominating enemies in battle. What's interesting about Fugue's skill, her A4 trace, Sylvan Enigma, allows Fugue to recover 1 skill point when casting her skill for the first time. Fugue's break effect is also increased by 30%, reducing the requirements to reach her desired break effect. Fugue's ultimate Solar Splendor shines upon all, deals fire damage equal to 200% of Fugue's attack to all enemies, burning through their defenses as it ignores weakness type to reduce their toughness, and when striking a weakness, it unleashes a fire weakness break effect. Fugue has a couple of ascension traces that are related to when she or any other ally unit breaks an enemy. A 2 trace Verdantia Renaissance, when ally targets break an enemy's weakness, they also delay the enemy's action by 15%. Probably a bit of rambling here, but could well make a comeback here. Besides that, I think Fugue may have great delay stacking potential with Runmir. Her A6 trace, Fezda Primordia, when an enemy's weakness is broken, teammates excluding Fugue gain a 6% boost to break effect. If Fugue's own break effect reaches 220% or higher, this boost increases by an extra 12%, lasting for 2 turns. The effect can stack up to 2 times, amplifying your team's break damage even further. Fortune follows where Virtue spreads is going to be Fugue's talent. While Fugue is on the field, enemies will be afflicted with Cloud Flame Luster, dealing 40% of their max toughness. When their toughness reaches 0, Cloud Flame Luster can be further reduced, and once it's gone, the enemy takes weakness break damage again. When Fugue is present and allies attack weakness broken enemies, the toughness reduction from that attack is converted into a single instance of 100% super break damage. For newer players, the way super break damage works is that it increases with higher break effect, greater toughness reduction, and higher character levels. It doesn't crit, isn't affected by damage boosts, and is considered break damage, separate from normal damage, making it a powerful force that tears through enemy defenses. Fugue's technique, Percipient State, afflicts enemies in a targeted area with daze for 10 seconds, leaving them unable to initiate attacks against allies. If Fugue launches an attack on dazed enemies to enter battle, she immediately gains a 40% action advance and guarantees a 100% base chance to apply her skill's defense reduction effect to all enemy targets, lasting for 2 turns. It's a fantastic technique to use to reduce enemies' defense and preserve a skill point for other ally units. It's also fantastic for advancing Fugue by 40%, enabling you to cast 1 basic attack to generate an extra skill point. The stats she receives from her minor traces include a 14 speed boost, a 24% break effect boost, and finally a 10% HP boost. Her talent priority is going to be talent, skill, ultimate, and basic attack. For main stat priority, try to aim for these to gain maximum value out of Fugue. One thing I want to add add, the speed tuning on Fugue may be a bit complicated. Typically, you'd aim to tune speed to be slightly faster than her skill target by just 1 extra speed. However, her talent completely changes this equation, acting as a built-in Von Whack. It grants her a 40% action advance before combat even starts, altering speed tuning considerations and giving her a significant natural edge in turn priority. If you take all of Fugue's speed traces and equip Fugue with speed boots, you're in a great position. She will always act before your skill target on the first turn. Even with just 120 speed, her action advance will boost her effective speed to nearly 200 for that turn. Since Fugue's skill functions similarly to Run Maze, only the first turn timing matters for activation. After that, refreshes work automatically just like Run Maze. That said, you can't go wrong with even more speed on Fugue. Her ability to serve as a skill point battery is fantastic. The more she attacks, the more small damage numbers you rack up, leading to more skill points and ultimately more frequent ultimates for your team. Iron Cavalry is perfect for characters focused on maximizing break damage. The 2-piece bonus provides a 16% break effect increase, enhancing break damage output. The 4-piece bonus is even more impressive, ignoring 10% of the enemy's defense when dealing break damage if the wearer's break effect is 150% or higher. For those who reach 250% break effect, it adds an extra 50% defense ignore to super break damage. This makes the set ideal and maximizes the impact for break focused teams. Thief is another great set for characters focused on break damage and provides some extra energy for frequent ultimates. The 2-piece bonus increases break effect by 16%, boosting her break damage and minimizing the 220% break effect requirement. The 4-piece bonus further increases break effect by another 16% and regenerates 3 energy every time a weakness is inflicted, allowing the wearer to use their abilities more frequently. Also, you're able to mix and match 2-piece break effect and speed sets on Fugue. However, I'd only advise resorting to these combinations if you have good substats on them. For your Sphere, Calpagni is a good set because it offers a combination of speed and break effect boost that enhances Fugue's performance in combat. The 6% speed increase is useful for hitting desired peak breakpoints, giving Fugue turn priority and the ability to cast their abilities sooner. The 40% break effect bonus triggers when hitting enemies with fire weakness, making Fugue more effective at breaking enemy toughness and dealing higher break damage. However, I'd only recommend going this set in Firefly comps only. Using this set as your general set for super break comps or any other comp outside of that will lead to Fugue's performance varying. Talia Kingdom of Banditry is going to be your general set for Fugue outside of Firefly comps. The 16% break effect bonus improves the wearer's ability to deal even more damage as well as reducing Fugue's desired break effect. The additional 20% break effect boost triggers when the wearer's speed reaches 145 or higher, further reducing the break effect necessary requirement. It's a great option for characters who can easily reach high speed, and since Fugue can easily reach 142 speed with just her substats alone and speed boots, reaching 145 isn't going to be as difficult. Okay, let's go over Fugue's Eidolons real quick. Fugue's E1 grants a 50% increase in weakness break efficiency for the ally with Foxian Prayer, and is further increased by an extra 15% thanks to her A2 trace. This enhancement provides better control over enemies and amplifies team damage by making enemies vulnerable sooner. It synergizes well with allies who have high break effect or skills that trigger extra damage or debuffs or weakness breaks, maximizing their impact. This boost makes the ally a key player in breaking through enemy defenses and setting up opportunities for the team to dominate the battlefield. Fugue's E2 allows her to regenerate 3 energy when an enemy's weakness is broken, allowing her to use her skills more often. Her 24% action advance after using her ultimate boosts team turn priority, letting allies attack faster and more frequently. Fugue's E4, the ally with Foxian Prayer, increases the break damage dealt by 20%, making them even more powerful when breaking enemy defenses and dealing higher damage in the process. Fugue's E6 increases Fugue's weakness break efficiency by 50%, making her much more effective at breaking enemy toughness, allowing for faster and more impactful weakness breaks. While Fugue is in the Torrid Scorch state, Foxian Prayer affects all allies, boosting their break damage and making them even more powerful in taking down enemies. For low spenders, E1 seems like an okay stopping point since the target with Foxian Prayer will be able to reduce enemy toughness, regardless of weakness type, by 100%, with Run May allowing allowing for consistent and fast break, which will trigger Fugue's A2 trace more often, as well as Runmei applying her own action delay debuffs on enemies too. However, Fugue's E2 does seem to be another useful factor here too. With how consistent allies will be in breaking enemy toughness, Fugue will be gaining more energy for faster ultimate access. The 24% action for all allies is fantastic too, allowing the team to cycle through their turns to dish out more damage against enemies. Between E1 and E2, E2 is going to be the better Eidolon, while E1 seems okay at best. Long Road Leads Home is going to be Fugue's best light cone. It boosts her break effect by 60%, another factor to reducing the requirements for her desired break effect. It also inflicts the charring state on enemies when their weakness is broken, increasing their break damage taken by 18% for 2 turns. This debuff can stack twice, boosting damage by up to 36%. Overall, it enhances Fugue's damage output and makes her better at supporting her team. I would only consider pulling for this light cone for her break effect comps. Outside of her break effect comps, this light cone doesn't seem that great. Resolution shines as Powers of Sweat is Fugue's second best gacha alternative, and even the E1 is worth using. At S5, this light cone has a 100% base chance to ensnare an enemy when Fugue hits them, if they're not already ensnared. Ensnared enemies have their defense decreased by 16% for 1 turn, making it easier for your team to deal damage. This effect is powerful for disabling enemies and making them more vulnerable, and though it may require a break effect rope, it's definitely worth it for the added utility and damage boost. Solitary Healing is a great free-to-play option and a 5-star light cone that comes from the Herta store, which takes about 16 weeks to farm at S5. At S5, it increases the wearer's break effect by 40%, making Fugue more effective at breaking enemy toughness. The light cone also boosts dot damage by 48% for 2 turns when Fugue uses her ultimate, but since Fugue rarely uses her ultimate, the main reason to use this light cone is the significant break effect boost, helping her shatter enemy defenses more efficiently. Formata is a 4-star light cone that can be purchased from the Forgotten Hall store and the only viable option in a break team, but it has some limitations. At S5, Formata increases the wearer's break effect by 32%, which is decent, but its second effect, increasing damage against shock or wind shear afflicted enemies, is less useful in a break focused team. The damage boost only applies to dot effects, which is not a priority for Fugue. While it's a good light cone for increasing break effect, the secondary effect doesn't synergize well with Fugue's main role, making it less optimal in a break team. Before the tutorial mission starts is a 4-star light cone from the Herta store too, taking 8 weeks to fully farm. At S5, the light cone provides a 40% boost to effect hit rate, making it ideal for Fugue to reliably apply debuffs such as defense reduction. It also regenerates 8 energy when attacking enemies with a reduced defense, ensuring a consistent energy flow for more frequent ultimates. While its effects are strong, its full potential is unlocked in teams that reliably apply defense reduction, making it a solid yet situational choice for Fugue. Fugue is compatible with any break-focused DPS such as Firefly, Boothill, Rappa, even Sushang and Shuiyu. However, I will be mainly focusing on the big 3. Firefly benefits the least from Fugue among the 3 core builds, but Fugue still provides value. Firefly's ability to implant fire weakness gives you flexibility to choose between a break effect rope for extra damage or an energy regeneration rope for smoother ultimate rotations. Just make sure to hit the required thresholds for either option. For those with Linkshare, transferring the skill to her can boost team synergy as her multi-target attacks amplify break damage, especially in sustained focus builds. If using an E2 Firefly, keep at least 1 enemy alive to trigger her E2 effect for maximum utility. High break effect players can also test a Thief setup on Fugue for added output. Importantly, you don't need to replace Harmony MC with Fugue. Experiment with teams like Firefly, Harmony MC, Runmei and Fugue for sustainless runs and see how you feel about it for yourself. In the Boothill team, Fugue's ultimate is less critical because Boothill prefers to break enemies himself to maximize his damage output. Double break setups, reducing toughness, then breaking both the exo toughness and super break bars allow Boothill to nuke enemies efficiently. In this scenario, Fugue's role is to provide supportive toughness damage to help chip away. In a sustainless E1 S1 Boothill team with units like E1 Runmei, Pella and Bronya, Boothill can achieve 81% defense ignore. Adding Fugue to the team increases this to an impressive 99% defense ignore. However, with lower investment, example E0 Boothill and E0 Runmei, defense ignore drops to 28% for normal breaks and 43% for super breaks with cavalry, making higher investment preferred for optimal results. If your team lacks defense shred, I'd recommend using a 2-piece break effect set or 4-piece thief on Boothill to enhance break effectiveness and damage. Fugue is a valuable tool in the right setup but not always essential for Boothill's performance. Rappa teams benefit greatly from Fugue's utility due to Rappa's imaginary type. Her break damage is weaker than fire breaks, making Fugue's extra toughness bar a game changer. This allows Rappa's ultimate to stack twice per enemy when they're broken, significantly boosting her damage. However, Rappa's built-in colorless break only enhances her skill, meaning Fugue's skill can be given to other multi-hit characters like Linkshare or Harmony MC to distribute break damage effectively. In a sustained team with Linkshare, assigning Fugue's skill to Linkshare enhances multi-target breaking. If you're using Gallagher as your sustain, his ultimate can also utilize Fugue's skill pretty well. Additionally, a Harmony MC Fugue support combo is viable for stable teams, offering colorless breaks to handle weakness-lacking enemies. For sustainless teams, flexible options include Runmei, Harmony MC, and Fugue, or Himiko, Runmei, and Fugue. Pella and other units can also be used to great effect. You could even experiment with a break hunt march build, using multiple characters as damage dealers in a high break team comp. The diversity of setups makes Fugue a valuable pick for Rappa teams. A build I suggest to maximize Fugue's utility in break teams is the 4-piece thief set to enhance Fugue's break capabilities before the tutorial mission starts as her Lightcone, with planar sets such as Talia, Sprightly Von Wag, or Lashaka to complement Fugue's speed and energy regeneration needs. Equipping before the tutorial mission starts, Lightcone provides extra effect hit rate and energy regeneration, which synergizes with her playstyle. Equipping before the tutorial mission starts, Lightcone provides extra effect hit rate and energy generation, which synergizes with her playstyle. An energy regen robe ensures consistent ultimate usage, allowing Fugue to deal colorless break damage and prepare enemies for Rappa to maximize her damage output. By stacking break effect and speed rolls, Fugue can consistently deliver high break impact while generating energy rapidly. This combo significantly boosts Rappa's performance, making her much deadlier against broken enemies and allowing your team to maintain a strong offensive momentum. In my opinion, Fugue has the potential to become a crucial component in future content, especially in scenarios that are less favorable to the current premium Firefly comp. In content like Apocalyptic Shadow or Aventurine is the main boss, the strategy relies on Firefly breaking toughness while others contribute minimally. Fugue offers a game-changing advantage in this aspect. A colorless break effect significantly speeds up mechanics like dice breaking process, while her skill allows units like Linkshare or Harmony MC to actively assist in the breaking process, turning a one-unit reliance into a full team effort. If more content requires this level of interaction and strategic breaking, Fugue will range from being a massive quality of life upgrade to a mandatory pick for making the Firefly team viable in difficult matchups. As future units and challenges roll out, her utility in bridging gaps and overcoming Firefly's weaknesses will make her increasingly valuable. And that is going to be the end of the guide. If you found this guide helpful, please consider subscribing to support the channel. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in a bit.